What's up, guys? Crypto Noah back with another yield farming strategy video. Got a little surprise for y'all on this one. This one's going to be a good one. I'm going to show you guys why I entered into a Goldfinch ETH pool, show you my Goldfinch yield farming strategy. I'm going to compare it with my Maple ETH position, and I'm going to reveal to you guys a new tool that we had built here at Know It Alls that literally helps you find the best pools in all of DeFi in less than 5 seconds. And that's exactly the reason why I entered into this Goldfinch yield farming position. All right. So I'm gonna break down what yield farming is. I'm gonna briefly break down what Goldfinch is. And I say briefly because on the Know It Alls channel, we did a full fundamental deep dive on what Goldfinch is, the tokenomics. We went through the white paper, the socials, literally everything. It's actually our most viewed video on that channel. And then here on this channel, I showed my take profit strategy on how I'm planning on turning a small amount into a large amount, gave you when I'm gonna sell, how much, literally everything. So feel free to watch those videos. So before we get started, I do have to say none of this is financial advice. These are my own perspectives, research, and opinions, and should be treated as such. Do your own research, but use this channel as a starting point. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Starting off with what is Goldfinch and what is yield farming? So Goldfinch is a private credit protocol where they allow you to borrow money under collateralized. In crypto, the big thing is over collateralized lending, in the sense that, like, let's say I want to borrow $100, I have to put up $150 in collateral. But the whole point of borrowing money is to get access to funds that you didn't have before, not to give more money, to borrow more money. And this is kind of like the pawn shop model where, let's say if I wanted to pawn my phone and it's worth $200, the pawn shop's going to say it's worth 100 or less, so that they can give me a loan, and if I don't pay that loan back, they can sell my phone and make some profits. Okay, that's kind of where crypto is, and there needs to be more under collateralized lending protocols, because that's how real people borrow money in the real world, and that's how institutions borrow money. All right, now what is yield farming? There's 4 main ways to get a yield. Staking, for example, you can stake on the ETH 2.0 beacon chain, get like a 13% yield. Deposit your money onto an on-chain money market fund like Aave. You supply your funds there. The platform facilitates the lending. That's how you get paid to supply APY. And you can stake your funds on insurance platforms such as Nexus Mutual and use your liquidity to facilitate insurance premiums. And then the way that we're going to talk about in this video, the way we talk about on this channel all the time, is using your funds as liquidity to facilitate trades on decentralized exchanges, right? So this pool that I'm gonna tell you about, anytime people swap from ETH to Goldfinch or Goldfinch to ETH, I'm making passive income. The amount of passive income I make is dependent upon how wide or narrow my range is. This is something called concentrated liquidity, where you can say, hey, whenever the price of ETH to Goldfinch is this price, use my liquidity, and you can say how wide or narrow you want your range to be. Your yield also is dependent upon the TVL, the total value locked in the pool. So we always talk about something called a volume to TVL ratio. If the volume is equal or higher than the TVL, you know you got yourself a good pool, because it's less mouths to feed for more food. All right. Okay, now, without further ado, let's jump into this ETH Goldfinch pool. I'm going to compare it to my Maple ETH pool, and I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts on this. All right, guys, so this is our Know It Alls Yield Hunter tool, where you can find the best pools in all of DeFi in less than 5 seconds. You can search by chain, you can search by protocol, or you can search by token. You can search by minimum TVL, or you can search by max TVL, right? So when I originally entered into the Goldfinch pool, it was much higher, but you know, the market has been pumping the past few days, and meme coins have been pumping, but those pools aren't going to last at the top for as long as, they're not going to stay at the top, basically. All right, so if we scroll down here, you can see Goldfinch Wrapped ETH has a 0.25% volume to TVL ratio, and it gives you all the data on the liquidity, volume, and fees. And you guys know that I don't provide liquidity for any asset I'm not holding on this own. So while the yields might be better for all these, I'm not holding BNB, I'm not holding JUP, I'm not holding SHRAP, I'm not holding Flokier, I'm not holding Curve. You get the idea. So if I click on it, it gives you all of the data, right? Look at how amazing this is, right? And this tool comes with people who buy our full course. So if you want to get access to the best course on yield farming in the whole world, some of the best coaches and one of the best communities in DeFi, click the link in the description and book a free strategy session. That's how you get access to this tool. I digress, but you can search all the way back to 6 months, right? And it gives you the daily volume, it gives you the daily APR, daily price, price-based quote, like all of that stuff, guys. This tool is going to make yield farming so much easier for us and our members. So now, if I go on to Goldfinch, this is the range that I selected, right? So from top to bottom, I'm giving ETH and Goldfinch 177% to go up and down, right? I'm giving 177% room. And if I go on to Revert Finance and look at my positions, you can see right now 234% in Maple ETH, but I'm getting 158% in ETH Goldfinch. So you might be wondering, well, if you're getting a higher yield, why don't you just put it all in Goldfinch or put it all in Maple or whatever? Well, it's kind of like when you're driving. You ever been driving a car and then the lane you're in starts slowing down, but the lane next to you, traffic is going fast. As soon as you get over into that lane, traffic slows down and it speeds up in the lane you're at. It's kind of like the same thing here. You never know which pool is going to be the best for the long term, but through looking at the volume to TVL ratio, through back testing and doing different things like that, you can come up with the best idea. So you can see that I've been in this pool for 114 days, right? I've been in this pool for 3 days and 16 hours, but I rebalanced the same day I got in this pool to see which one would perform better. And you can see that right now I have $93 in uncollected fees. Maple did dip, so did Goldfinch, but I have $120 in uncollected fees here, and I have less money in this pool. Now, if I go over to Uniswap and I look at Maple ETH over the past year, Maple did $40.9 million in volume, while Goldfinch did $75 million in volume, 75.5, so almost double. Going back to Maple, if I look at the past month, you can see Maple did $3.1 million in volume, while in the past month, Goldfinch did $5.87 million in volume, so almost double. Going back to Maple, if I look in the past week, Maple did $729,000 in volume, while in the past week, Goldfinch did $1.3 million in volume, right? And I'm not going to go over to the last day because, anything can happen on the day-to-day. So basically, this Goldfinch pool they're both 1% fee tiers, which I like. 1% flat fee on each transaction spread across everyone in the pool. But this pool has been doing double of what I've been doing in the Maple pool. So if I would have been in this same pool at the same time, I probably would have made around double the fees. Now let's back test that to see. So I went and put in my back testing numbers for how long I've been in the pool and how much I deposited. So I deposited $12,000 in this pool, right? And I've been in it 114 days. So per year, 299% APR in the past 114 days. This isn't including taking out my rewards or compounding, just what I've been getting paid. So getting around 24% per month, which isn't bad. But if I look at the Goldfinch pool for that same amount of time, instead of getting 24% per month, I would have gotten 55.69% per month. Instead of getting 299% APR, I would have gotten 677.59% APR. So I would have did more than double of what I've been doing in the Maple ETH pool. And instead of ROIing in a month and a week, which is still great, I could have ROI'd in just 3 weeks, guys. So I'm super bullish on Goldfinch, just like I'm super bullish on Maple, and I think people are going to accumulate both of them. So I got my liquidity spread out in both pools because you never know. Guys, time in the market versus trying to time the market. In our course, I showed a chart on how your performance would have been drastically different if you missed the best 10 days of the stock market in the past 50 years. It's the same thing with missing the best high volume days when providing liquidity in DeFi. You never know when people are going to buy $1 billion in Maple or $1 billion of Goldfinch, but I want to be in the market. That's why I have my range fairly wide, because I want to be able to capture all of that yield, because the institutions can't provide liquidity. So you can get a very high yield with a pretty wide range. As you can see, my range is 17%, like I said on there, 177, one of those. And I wouldn't have found this pool. Maybe I would have eventually found it, but I wouldn't have found it if it wasn't for our Know-It-Alls Yield Hunter tool. So if you guys want to get access to the tool, you want to get access to our course, like I said, click the link in the description, book a free strategy session. You'll talk to me or one of our coaches. We'll answer all your questions on crypto or DeFi and ultimately see if our program is a good fit for you. If not, we're happy to point you in the right direction. But with that, I like to conclude this video. Guys, if you got value, I ask that you drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. I love every single one of you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.